Today, today we read a good book from a good friend, person, being to me. And her name is Light. And her book is Sad Girl. Like herself. It's her right here, beautiful, gorgeous queen. Right here. And let's read the back. It says that this collection is for the misfits with ugly thoughts who feel alone in the darkness. Depression does not need a cure, and at times, descriptions that attempt to put the soul's complexity into a box leave us feeling empty instead of sane. The pieces in this collection are not trying to fix you into becoming a positive person, rather to itch the scratch you may not have known was there. If you feel alone, and the closer you try to get to people or vice versa, the issue is further inflamed. This book is for you. That's what the back say, okay. See what the first page say. The first page say Sad Girl. First page say Sad Girl. Second page say Section 1. Section 1. Third page is where it starts. Third page say Clairemontaigne. Clairemontaigne. That's the name of this shirt she ran to start the book off for. Is a shirt right? Let me see if the shirt was the right word to use in that context. Let me see. Shirt. It's the first shirt. State or fact or believe confidently and forcefully. The company assures that the cuts will not affect development. Cause others to recognize one's authority or right by confident and forceful behavior. Behave or speak in a confident and forceful. It's our first story. We're gonna say story because assertion. I don't think that. This is our first story. Clairemontaigne. When I was a little girl and polished, full on and bottom staff from a trunk, mysterious woman came to me. On her hand was a Clairemontaigne, swimming in a lonely olive pierce through the heart with a pick. I wanted to become the woman I envisioned. I'm not aware of the many ways I fear my reflection. I do not believe I can be a part of this world, but rather I identify as a misfortunate spirit, a lifeless creation, devoid of real emotions, temporarily envisioning the lives of others pursuing their earnest aspirations of being wanted. My mind resists anything that could potentially bring me comfort or love and make me feel vulnerable as a woman. The luxurious poisons of my memories of those I love pretending to be happy with them, now sweeten my indulgence as I savor a lonesome existence. Being a bloodless creature is my only way out. When I hear my ex laugh, the sounds that come out mock who we were. It abrades to a pitch. Now we got a sense of abrades what that mean, but let's put some clarity over that. Abrades. So when you read Light, she's an intellectual, so you really have to look up the meanings of some of the words she might say that you don't know. Now, abrades, the way she uses it makes you know what she is saying anyway. But let's be clear on what it means. Abrades. Let me see. Okay. Scrape or wear away by friction or erosion. That's what it say, man. Scrape or abrade. Scrape or wear away by friction or erosion. A landscape slowly abraded by a fine stinging dust. Alright, so let's take it back, right back to the beginning of that part. The luxurious poisons of my memories of those I loved, pretending to be happy with them, now sweeten my indulgence as I savor a lonesome existence. Being a bloodless creature is my only way out. When I hear my ex laugh, the sounds that come out mock who we were. It abrades to a pinch. The will I had to not slip my wrist, opening our broad white tub without a flinch. We are far from the young kids that once pursued something more than someone to sink the couch with, more than closed eyes as hips thrust into the wind for the sole purpose of climaxing. My life tastes bitter with him. I would prefer it would taste like nothing. I do not understand how I can be a mere toy to him, and my inclination shall be to deny him the puppeteer's spoil
Though I come with strings and make my decisions from a barren place, yearning to paint everything with grief. Ironically, it is my phony vulnerability that brought me to the crossroads. Should I stay or should I leave? The story has always been the same for me. I stay because nothing is waiting inside me. I can only pretend to have some secret force preventing me from compromising. In the process of trying to maintain a manner of self-worth, I had become faceless, loving myself without any outside help is possible, only with my 6 personalities aid in my self-distortion. A decay of hesitation lays hold of my freedom. Each time, I forget how refreshing I am or hesitate or make me the main course for this otherwise deserted life. I stay because even the worst projection that is not my own take up more room than mine. I am coming into my own faceless life now, one clear sip at a time. As the gin burns through my throat, the world that sometimes acts meaningless spawns into infinite possibilities, all in perfect harmony with what my dissembled vision allows. I will depart when my longing to be alluring and chaotic as an animal becomes excessive, leading me to make impulsive choices at every turn, without the consideration of my loved ones or friends, and without any sense of loyalty to soften my brash and hasty behavior, even if it means sacrificing myself. I leave for what I have always known. My peace in every journey starts and ends alone. My solitary soul craves a vacuum of freedom where nothing gone can return. I feel no shame to have been built to trace the scars of the lovely lady with a clear martini in her hands and a forlorn face. So, we're gonna start with page 7. We're gonna move on to page 7. Good act. Time has a way of casting its shadow over those who perceive it, exhausting our recollection that word means memory, recollection, our memory. While indulging us to repeat ourselves into the cycle of our trajectory is condensed. It's just, we know what trajectory means, but I mean, we got an idea of what it means, but let's just put some clarity on it. Just so we could really have a clearer understanding of what it means and what it actually stands. The path followed by a projectile flying or an object moving under the action of given forces. The path followed by a projectile flying or an object moving under the action of given forces. The missile's trajectory was preset. So how you look on life, if you're on life, how you navigate life, as far as your outlook on life. So let's start it all over here. Page 7. Good at. Time has a way of casting its shadow over those who perceive it. Exhausting our recollection. Wow. Indulging us to repeat ourselves into the cycle of our trajectory is condensed. Condensed. That means like, okay, water is not condensed until it's ice. And then it's solid. So that's what condensed is. Trajectory is condensed in a loop, and our essence begins shifting into the polar opposite of what it once was. The wailing past is kept at bay by the elusive borders of time. As a dam holds in the river, so does the garbage in my mind enrich my experience. My mistakes are doomed to repeat themselves. As I make my way into the forgotten parts of living on earth, the first order of business is fun. Plenty of harmless pleasures to fill the idle hours, carved out in the shape of my broken, vacant heart, enough to kill what is left of my old mind and replace it instead with a piece of art. I am even more reckless for having been brought up with a sound mind, secluded and tried to sensible influences determined to make me normal. I am tattooed by a stubborn pattern that reminds me I came here with two hearts. Persuaded by the existence of an entirely different character from the one which I am now. I am divinely mad, an empty seat. She claims within me her presence and absence are forms of gunshot wounds to my system. Adamant on keeping me awake in a keen state of agony, we share in abusing me. We take affairs with secret notions to overdose on dopamine from a coveted plight. Coveted. What is coveted?
Prophetic. Greatly desire or envy. I gave up a coveted job, that of editor-in-chief. Just to show y'all. Coveted. Greatly desire or envy. I gave up a coveted job, that of editor-in-chief. Alright, plight. What's plight? I mean, we got an idea, but let's put the clarity on. Like, a dangerous, difficult, or otherwise unfortunate situation. We must direct our efforts toward reliving the plight of children living in poverty. Alright, let's reply, man. Alright, let me see.
We share and abusingly take a fast with secret notions to overdose on dopamine. From a coveted plight, we believe nothing can hurt us, not even a perverse satisfaction in pain. Not even a perverse.
Perverse, that's like in the family of the word perverted. But let's put some clarity on it. Let's see. Still loading up. Alright, damage on. Of a person or their actions showing a deliberate and obstinate desire to behave in a way that is unreasonable or unacceptable, often in spite of the consequences. Case perverse decision not to cooperate. Contrary to the accepted or expected standard or practice. In 2 general elections, the outcome was quite perverse.
A law is of a verdict against the weight of evidence or the direction of the judge on a point of view.
Perverse. Alright, let me see.
Okay. We believe nothing can hurt us, not even a perverse satisfaction in pain. Violence for ecstasy comes in many innovations. Innovate is to create something. Tailored to my walls. Violence for ecstasy comes to many innovations tailored to my walls. Things of an evil nature do not weigh over me. My hunger to be touched with a rapacious.
Let's put that right up. aggressively, greedy, or grasping. Rapacious 9 lords. Rapacious.
My hunger to be touched with a rapacious appetite does not cause my stomach upheave. I am not ashamed of how I want it. Me and my little double heart like to put on the good girl act. This time, when I made my last round to Earth, I wanted to make sure I knew I'm not invincible. I'm susceptible to rot, like my little gut acts, and the bad girl that fights back. Me Love, page 10.
Called Me Love.
Me Love. I had a friendship with my ex sister. I thought she was the one, like I always tend to do. It was destructive, abrasive enough. My memories couldn't contain or file it away. Remember that word, abrasive? Abrasive is like to like ride away like stone.
We just looked it up. You know, the water erosion. Abrasive. And she used it in the same context of like eroding recollection, memory, forgetfulness type of sense. Abrasive of a substance or material capable of polishing or cleaning a hard surface by rubbing or grinding. The wood should be rubbed down with fine abrasive paper. Of a person or manner showing little concern for the feelings of others. Harsh, her abrasive and arrogant personal style won her few friends. A noun, a substance used for grinding, polishing, or cleaning a hard surface. The refrigerator is easily damaged by abrasives.
Abrasive enough, my memories couldn't contain or file it away. I had remembrances. They trickled back and slowly unfurling.
Let's see what unfurling. She is like as an intellectual and referring. You have to look up these words so you can expand your vocabulary. Cause she will learn you some words. Referring. That was just the word, right? Referring.
Unfurling.
unfurling, make or become spread out from a rolled or folded state, especially in order to be open to the wind. A man was unfurling a sail. Okay, unfurl.
I have remembrances. They trickle back and slowly unfurling when I indiscreetly hand out promises to others, taking it for myself as I do. I feel a bitter, spiky pain in my chest when my patterns unlock. I would play along, give people what they wanted, and in return, they would give me what they owed. That used to be my logic in the past. After having moved into the U.S. in June 2015, I started living with my oldest sister. Shortly after, she drew breath to imitate and intimidate me, to profile and misinterpret me as a user. I was her plaything. A disk where she could store all her feral raging.
Feral. Not domesticated or cultivated. Wild, feral animals have an escape from domestication and become wild.
I live without autonomy, and at times I felt washed away like I was sharing my body with hers. She would pretend to put her efforts into bettering me while pulling me apart until I looked like someone that was not worth her secret and jealous admiration. We were both broken people. I thought I came to her because she could seal what was tearing open inside me from the isolating life I led. Unfortunately, that was never her intentions with me. Let us say she was right. She did see and occasionally bring forth the environmental culture evil in me. A question remains unanswered. To what end did she aspire to educate me? Or, in her words, extract the evil from me? Was I supposed to be relieved? Was I supposed to? Let's all the way from the top of the paragraph. The question remains unanswered. To what end did she aspire to educate me, or in her words, extract the evil from me? Was I supposed to be relieved that someone wants to pour something out of me in such a cruel way? Or was she trying to make me aware of the dormancy inside me that now rears its ugly head. I do not know if I should be ashamed or allured by this self-discovery. I ate the apple she offered me, and my reflection assumed the posture of one who does not feel the aching. I could not see the extent of the damage my soul incurred. I felt withdrawn from my body, tortured yet unable to distinguish smoke to call it fire. I thought I was indestructible. I ate the apple, fully aware of the wickedness of the soul that offered it to me. I ate every last tough bite, down to its seedy and bitter core. She was jealous and her mind was inconsolable. Let's see, inconsolable.
Of a person or that grief, not able to be comforted or alleviated. His widow Jane was inconsolable.
She was jealous and her mind was inconsolable. My youth and innocence were a vehicle for her to pursue vengeance against her soul. And my lack of self-belief, she managed to convince me into being something other than myself. I was young, yet to see the relevance of poison water feeding the dirt. I did not know what survival looked like, what it tasted like. How could I? It was all I had known all my life. I thought I knew myself intimately, but I was witnessing myself without a core, weaving into a person unable to project anything at all. I look back at old times to remember the kind of person I can become. My original nature was not completely gone or robbed from me. I told myself I can still be eager, valuable, and hopeful. Someday I will stop being solemn.
Silent. Formal and dignified is solemn possession, not cheerful or smiling, serious. Tim looked very solemn, characterized by deep sincerity. He swore a solemn oath to keep faith.
Solemn. I told myself I can still be eager, valuable, and hopeful. Someday I will stop being silent, tiptoeing around her with no scaffolding.
And then we got scaffolding. A temporary structure on the outside of a building, made usually of wooden planks and metal poles used by workers while building, repairing, or cleaning the building. Two of the shops had scaffolding against them. The materials used in scaffolding, a truck carrying scaffolding, pretty much something you put up and you build something. 10 for Fox. Scaffolding. Scaffold. Right. Just 1 second. 1 second. Sure. Scaffolding. Tiptoeing around her with no scaffolding. Okay. So that kind of remind me, give me an idea of maybe in classrooms when they put those like dividers up into, this the this thing, this, I want to say something like distinguish, pretty much distinguishing. Distinguish one section from another section, but it's probably more examples I could use. This actually, because they say wood and metals to when they building a building to put around it so that workers can work it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So let's start from the paragraph about that, just to get back on the sense of what it's saying. I told myself I can still be eager, valuable, and hopeful. Someday I would stop being silent, tiptoeing around her with no scaffolding. That was how I lived. That was what my survival looked like. She abused me using all the ways I was blind to justice and being deserving of it, just like any other being. In my nirvanic state of youth. Nirvana. Nirvana. No, but it just flew on the screen. Nirvana is a place of perfect peace and happiness like heaven. In Buddhism, nirvana is the highest state that someone can attain, a state of enlightenment, meaning a person's individual desires and suffering go away. That's what nirvana is. She said nirvanic, so. She said, she abused me using all the ways I was blind to justice and being deserving of it, just like any other being. In my nirvanic state of youth, the isolating state. Isolating. Isolate. Move or swing back and forth at a regular speed. A pendulum isolates. Oscillates about its lowest point. Vary in magnitude or position in a regular manner around a central point. Another definition from another website says to swing backward and forward like a pendulum The fan was isolating. To move or travel back and forth between 2 points. That's the first one. I read. That's the first one I read. I spoke on. I read. It's the second one.
So, okay, she abused me using all the ways I was blind to justice and being deserving of it, just like any other being in my nirvanic state of youth. The isolating state of love bombing and manipulation did not scare me away instantly. Thus, the poison spread generously throughout my veins. There were times I found humor in a pedophile confessing his guilty pleasures on what he would do to his son in his basement. Something about his huge goggle glasses and the rat-like manner he would curl and quiver his lips when he spoke about suffocating his son until he turned blue gassed me up into a fit of wicked, smoldering cackle that went on for hours. I didn't associate his actions toward his son with an obvious wrongdoing. Common sense did not occur to me. Occasionally, I would well up with tears. My throat would swell, but the tears would hardly quench the mountain of pain beyond causing me irritation. The inconsistency of her fake love kept me awake in my mother's swaying arms. The momentum of depravity was the only thing familiar and safe to me. My close friend is misery. Hold on, let's rewind it a few lines up. The momentum of depravity.
Let's see what depravity. Deprive means, to not be having access to something, not able to get something. So let's see. Deprive. Depravity, that's what she said. Okay. Moral corruption, wickedness. A terrible wickedness and depravity, the innate corruption of human nature due to original sin. So that's what it really means. Okay. Moral corruption, wickedness, a terrible wickedness and depravity, the innate corruption of human nature due to original sin.
The momentum of depravity was the only thing familiar and safe to me. My close friend is misery. My true love is abuse. I flee to where I could get enough of both. I stopped worrying about when it would end for me, and I started to look forward to the pain. It was becoming a part of my identity. My older sister and I call each other me love. I realize now it is true love which scares me, and the darkness hibernating within me that any lover might soon uncover. I'll be okay. Page 16, I'll be okay. Squeeze my body on all the, look, let's start out, I'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
I'll be okay. Squeeze my body on all the parts you want. Tank my will. I do not care about myself. I pass with life and taste of death. I am not convinced my sins can kill me yet. I am a stain on paper, formless and constantly morphing into newer, more fancy phrases that dwarf at describing someone faceless. I tell myself I am enough. I haven't missed all my chances. I could still receive something of value. By default, these words do not exert influence over me. The parts of me I alter to squeeze into acceptability, live in every breath I held in. The relationships I fake, paradoxically, became more appealing.
Paradoxically. In a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory way, the strength of capitalism is paradoxically also its weakness. In a seemingly absurd or self-contradictory way.
The relationships I faked paradoxically became more appealing as the idea of the light evolved into a haunting impossibility. And through all the renditions,
a performance or interpretation, especially of a dramatic role or piece of music. A wonderful rendition of Nessun Dorma, the practice of sending a foreign criminal or terrorist suspect covertly to be interrogated in a country with less rigorous regulations for the human treatment of prisoners. Rendition.
Let me see. And through all the renditions, I took to myself the fragility of my image, increasingly demanded the loss of my center. I hung my lungs like a coat from the hanger, and throw them away, I'll be okay. As being alone stands the only cure for me, therefore I refuse to take relief. I am always searching to fill in a circle of emptiness in the center of my chest that invites the wind to breeze through me, and every hand with a brush and pen to color in the gap even a barn gray. since that is all I feel that I am. I refuse to take mercy as my way out. I feel like I will have settled for second best if I do. Misery is my drug. I am better off dead. I rest my case. I cannot heal, and I refuse to jump to my death. I am too weak for that, and incensed by my inability. Incense is something you like to burn and smell good, and incensed by my inability. So let's just get a clarity on incense in this context to see what it means. Similar, incensed. Very angry, enraged. I was absolutely incensed. That I am too weak for that, and incensed by my inability to make final decisions. I'm not used to my spirit being strapped down, buckled shut behind the skin and sunken to the bottom of a wound. Yet, here the fuck I am. When all else fails, I'll be in a restroom, sliding down a wall, pouring out the shards of grief, snot and all that could not stay down my throat. Above everything I can say or do, I feel a knee-jerk reaction to suck it all in. Stay still and let the agony soak in. And as my teeth are grating, I utter, I will be okay. It is all rather arousing to me. Grating, let's see, hold up. And as my teeth are grating, I will be okay. Sounding harsh and unpleasant, a high grating voice, irritating, a smarty pants tones that I found grating. Grating. Alright, we're gonna come. Hold up. Yeah, we're gonna read 19 when we come back. We're gonna read it now. Okay. 19. The sad girl. The sad girl. The mornings can be hard to encounter when it is lush, blue, and flush for the eyes outdoors. It should be readily acceptable for enjoyment. Instead, a surge of funk descends into my blood. When the simple day becomes a duty for me to enjoy, I fantasize about the long, contemplative strokes of the hours at midnight. It is better suited for the arid mind. Replete with many abominations and dislikes. The nighttime is wise, staging a cataract of possible endeavors. Its deep pockets call to the glorious of spirits for whom the light can only summon more grief. The dark, uninvited, is inseparable from self, subsisting to consume and nourish a star to be born. Nothing good is enough, because I've asked for something else vaguely profound. Playing the game in a world of winner or surrender, where nothing is real or fake, hidden or plain, to pull, push away, be alone, to find the company you crave. Obey the pointed gun, mock the mockingbird. Take the unspoiled truth out of context. I hope everybody burns, but I don't have to see straight. I am the sad girl in a seemingly happy world where I am not allowed to lose joy for too long before I must beat myself over the head. Forget anything is wrong, so I can wake up the next day, breathe in the fresh air, and do it all over again. Alright, now I gotta read this, and I gotta read this and put the clarity on the words that we might need a little bit refreshment on the meaning of the sad girl. The mornings can be hard to encounter when it is lush.
Lush. Let's make sure we know exactly what's lush. I mean, it sounds like a simple word, but let's put the clarity on it. A vegetation growing luxuriantly, lush greenery and cultivated fields, very rich in providing great sensory pleasure, lush orchestration, sexually attractive. Marianne with her lush body and provocative green eyes.
The mornings can be hard to encounter when it is lush, blue, and flush for the eyes outdoors. It should be readily acceptable for enjoyment. Instead, a surge of funk descends into my blood. When the simple day becomes a duty for me to enjoy, I fantasize about the long contemplative strokes of the hours at midnight. It is better suited for the arid mind. Arid. A land or a climate having little or no rain, too dry or barren to support vegetation. Arid, lacking in interest, excitement, or meaning, is areas in suburbia.
She said her arid mind.
Hold on. When a simple day becomes a duty for me to enjoy, I fantasize about the long contemplative strokes of the hours at midnight. It is better suited for the arid mind, replete with many abominations and dislikes. We got a sense of that. That's good. That's good. The nighttime is wise, staging a cataract of possible endeavors.
Cataract. Let's just put the clarity on cataract. A medical condition in which the lens of the eye becomes progressively opaque, resulting in blurred vision. She had cataracts in both eyes. A large waterfall. The river descends in a succession of spectacular cataracts. I think it is more so used on the second definition. A large waterfall. The river descends in a succession of spectacular cataracts.
Of possible endeavors. His deep pockets call to the dolorous of spirits for whom the light can only summon more grief.
The lawyers. Feeling or expressing great sorrow or distress. A dolorous and repetitive tale of atrocity.
The nighttime is wise, staging a cataract of possible endeavors. His deep pockets call to the dolorous of spurs, for whom the light can only summon more grief. The dark, uninvited, and inseparable from self, subsisting to concern. And nourish a star to be born. Nothing good is enough because I've asked for something else vaguely profound. Playing the game in a world of winner or surrender where nothing is real or fake, head or plan. To pull or push away, be alone to find a company you crave. Obey the pointed gun. Mock the mockingbird. Take the unspoiled truth out of context. I hope everybody burns, but I don't have to see straight. I am the sad girl in a seemingly happy world where I am not allowed to lose joy for too long before I must beat myself over the head. Forget anything is wrong. So I can wake up the next day, breathe in the fresh air and do it all over again. Alright, we start on 21. Yeah, we start on 21. We're gonna get back. Hold on, 21. No, we're gonna read 21 right now, okay. Digital alcohol. Digital alcohol. Married to the passion, I was counting the moving dots on my black mirror. Snug within the pixels of the endless images I shuffle. When the door is closed, I only hear the echo of it slamming shut. I avoid certain words that abuse my head, that crawl into my spine. to settle at the bottom. I found the denial of entrance to something I could want with abandon, titillating my bittersweet romance with boredom and sadness. Now, I have a close friend, fear of missing out. I had to be something more than normal. Maybe then my death will mean something. I am aware this thinking is also ordinary. Let us say the door that's shut never opens. What comes after? Do I want to find out what it's like to live? The topic of my masochistic fantasies to arrive at the threshold where many visionaries stand mellowing at the deficit brought on by their own hands. I'm still thinking of what I can squeeze out of myself to fit the size of the front spotlight, shining beyond the door of promise. I do not leave my room. I sample and consume programs until the feeling of being alone fades. I digest them like food. I create characters and follow through. I make sure one is more flammable than the other as I spray them on like cheap perfume. Hooked on a mythical alcohol without prognosis. I cannot function in the ways of this world. I am a fictional truth, spinning the wheel of fortune, a battery-operated dog, waiting to find new ways to entertain you. Deprived and dried up, I live a life in wait. I stop searching for meaning when the spotlight shifts its weight and gaze over to me. I'm not left behind yet by the very idea I am paralyzed. I see the door of visionaries. Now and again, what I see across the threshold changes when my head is out of my ass, so to speak. I find neither flashing lights nor validation or peace of mind. The door remains open for those with tired eyes and dirty feet that remain erect through the heated odyssey. My thinking continues over a new roof. I take into consideration the mundane things in life, like why we are so proud of our lives. Do we feel our senses when we push from one thing to the next to authenticate the glamour in which we live our lives on our social pages? No one wants to be raw. No one cares to be valuable when they had nothing to offer. The internet is a cruel mirror of the fragile ugliness that comes with being human. A place to hear the reverberations and imaginative, friendless chatters of lost souls and restless seekers, all zoned out on digital alcohol. Alright, now that's deep. Now that's cool. But now we gotta reread that. Let me make sure that was. Yeah, we gotta reread that with the clarity on it. Digital alcohol. Married to the passing hours, counting the moving dots on my black mirror. Snug within the pixels of the endless images I shuffle. When a door is closed, I only hear the echo of it slamming shut. I avoid certain words that abuse my head, that crawl into my spine to settle at the bottom. I found the denial of entrance to something I could want. With abandon. Tolerating.
Meaning of tolerating meaning is to accept behavior and beliefs that are different from your own, although you might not agree with or approve of them. I will not tolerate that kind of behavior in my class. I tolerate. No. I gotta tolerate.
Hold up, she might have.
No, I'm getting tilted. She said tiltulating. I put tolerating and got tilted. Totally. Lady. Arousing mild sexual excitement or interest. Salacious. She lets slip titillating details about her clients.
I come up with a banner. Titillating. Alright, boom, that's good. Okay. Digital alcohol. Married to the passing hours, counting the moving dots on my black mirror. Snug within the pixels of the endless images I shuffle. When a door is closed, I only hear the echo of it slamming shut. I avoid certain words that abuse my head, that crawl into my spine to settle at the bottom. I found the denial of entrance to something I could want with abandon. Titillating. My bittersweet romance with boredom and sadness now. Have a close friend. Fear missing out. I had to be something more than normal. Maybe then my death would mean something. I'm aware this thinking is also ordinary. Let us say the door that's shut never opens. What comes after? Do I want to find out what it's like to live the topic of my misogynistic
fantasies? Yeah, that's why you gotta love a good light bulb. Cause she gonna open your eyes. She gonna take you to a whole nother world. You got a whole vast world you haven't experienced. That's beautiful. Misogynistic. D-Moore. Why D-Moore just pop up? D-Moore. Reserved, modest, and shy, typically used of a woman, a demure young lady. Her clothing giving a modest appearance, a demure knee-length skirt. Yeah, light is very demure. Light is very demure.
Like, it's definitely right, the murder.
How Buck's gonna be the mayor too. She be icy and she be bird too. She don't need wear a lot of jewelry. She just be drippy. When she decide to throw that sauce on. Alright, look, why I'm putting in the whole thing with y'all fantasies? No, I just want the machistic part, okay?
Deriving sexual gratification from one's own pain or humiliation. Masochistic sexual fantasies. In general, use enjoying active activity that appears to be painful or tedious. He seems to take a masochistic delight in confronting uncomfortable truths.
Alright, bet. Oh, let me show you. Yeah, let me show you child structure.
Let us say the door to shut never opens. What comes after? Do I want to find out what it is like to live? The topic of my masochistic fantasies. To arrive at the threshold. Where many visionaries stand, mellowing.
Mellow. Meat will become mellow. Full of flavored whiskey. Whiskey's mellow with wood maturity. Informal, relaxing, enjoy oneself. I need to mellow out. I need to calm down.
Mellowing. It just only gives mellow. So let's see. Where many visionaries stand, mellowing at the deficit.
So if it's just me relaxing, enjoy oneself, I need to mellow out. I need to calm down. Okay. Deficit. Deficit is easy, right? But let's just look at it right next to that to get the whole deficit. The amount by which something, especially a sum of money, is too small. And excess of expenditure or liabilities over income or assets in a given period. In sports, the amount or score by which a team or individual is losing came back from a 3-0 deficit. Alright, deficit, yeah, deficit. Alright, let me see.
When many visionaries stand mellowing at the deficit brought on by their own hands, I'm still thinking of what I can squeeze out of myself to fit the size of the crunk spotlight.
Crunk. Compress something into small folds or ridges. The crimp the edge of the pie, having a limited or adverse effect on some. Farmers complain that the drought could crimp their income potential. Now, a curved wave or folded or compressed edge. This cascade of delicate crimps depends on the parent. informal North America. A restriction or limitation to crimp on take home pay has been even tighter since Texas wage. Comparison to small foods or religious sheep crimp the others in the front.
Look. Where many visionaries stand mellowing at the deficit brought on by their own hands, I'm still thinking of what I can squeeze out of myself to fit the size of the crump spotlight, shining beyond the door of promise. Do not leave my room. I sat on consumed programs into the fear, to the feeling of being alone faced. I digest them like food. I create characters and follow through. I make sure one is more flammable than the other as I spray them on like cheap perfume. Hooked on a mythical alcohol without prognosis. When she's saying mythical, she talking pretty much fantasy, like, science fiction, Marvel, mythical. Alright, so we're gonna look both mythical and prognosis real quick. Occurring and or characteristic of myths or folk tales, one of Denmark's greatest mythical heroes, idolized especially with references to the past, a mythical age of contentment and social order. Fictitious, a mythical customer whose name appears in brochures. Mythical. Alright, look. The likely course of a disease or ailment. The disease has a poor prognosis. A forecast of the likely course of a disease or ailment, it is very difficult to make an accurate prognosis. A forecast of the likely outcome of a situation, gloomy prognosis is about overpopulation. The likely course of a disease or ailment, the disease has a poor prognosis. A forecast of the likely course of a disease or ailment, it is very difficult to make an accurate prognosis. A forecast of the likely outcome of a situation, gloomy prognosis is about overpopulation. Let me see. So let's see. Hooked on a mythical alcohol without prognosis, I cannot function in the ways of this world. I am a fictional truth, spinning a wheel of fortune. A battery-operated dog waiting to find new ways to entertain you. Deprived and dried up, I live a life in wait. I stop searching for meaning. When the spotlight shifts its weight and gaze over to me, deprived and dried up, I live a life in want and wait. I stop searching for meaning when the spotlight shifts its weight and gaze over to me. I am not left behind yet. By the very idea, I am paralyzed. I see the door of visionaries. Now and again, what I see across the threshold changes when my head is out of my ass, so to speak. I find neither flashing lights nor validation, but peace of mind. The door remains open for those with tired eyes and dirty feet that remain wet through the heated odyssey. Odyssey, that's like a journey. Journeying. Me thinking continues over a new roof. No. My thinking continues over a new roof. I take into consideration the mundane things in life, like why we are so proud of our lives. Do we feel our senses when we push from one thing to the next? To authenticate the glamour in which we live our lives. On our social pages. No one wants to be raw. No one cares to be valuable when they had nothing to offer. The internet is a cruel mirror of the fragile ugliness that comes with being human. A place to hear the reverberations. Of a loud noise be repeated several times as an echo. A deep moment left reverberated around the room. Of a place appeared to vibrate or be disturbed because of a loud noise. The hall reverberated with gaiety and laughter. Reverberation. Prolongation of a sound, resonance, electronic effects have been added, such as echo or reverberation. A continuing effect, a repercussion. The attack has had reverberations around the world.
Revelation.
A place to hear the reverberations and imaginative, friendless chatters of lost souls and restless seekers. All zoned out on digital alcohol. Alright, that. We start on page 24 when we come back. It's called Here I Am. You know? And Snipe Up, Sag Girl, and we're gonna start on 24 when we get back to it and start on 24. Other than that, love and abundance, peace, bliss, and prosperity unto you. Carry on to the door again.